This is Dwayne with FBA Roots Unleashed.
And I am Chantel.
Today we're asking a question that hits like a hammer. Have Democrats in the Congressional Black Caucus failed Black Americans? Because look, in the Democratic coalition, Black Americans are often the most loyal voting bloc and still feel like the least rewarded. We show up, we organize, we carry weight in key states like Georgia, and yet a whole lot of people are asking, where is the direct return? And this frustration is not coming out of nowhere. According to recent Pew research, Black voters still lean heavily Democratic, and Black eligible voters make up about a third of Georgia's eligible electorate. So yeah, the leverage is real. The question is whether that leverage is ever cashed in for lineage-specific policy.
Exactly. And that's where the anger comes from. Not just politics as usual. No, it's that feeling of we paid in full. With votes, with loyalty, with movement energy, with moral force. And what came back? Too often, speeches, symbolism, and another election year promise. Right? That's what has people heated.
Right. Let's talk about the CBC. The Congressional Black Caucus was established in 1971, and it has long described itself as the conscience of the Congress. Its stated mission is broader than one slice of Black America. It says it fights for African Americans and other marginalized communities. And honestly, that right there is part of the tension.
Because FBA says, hold on, broader for who? Broader at whose expense? The foundational Black American position is not, hey, please include us in the rainbow. It's no. Separate the receipts. Separate the lineage. Separate the debt. This is about descendants of U.S. slavery making a concrete claim on the country that extracted labor from their bloodline.
And that's a huge shift in language, from coalition to accounting, from symbolism to compensation, from generic uplift to specific repair.
Yes. The FBA demand is not some vague diversity talk. It is direct, tangible restitution. Reparations, possibly cash payments, tax relief, land-based remedies, and generational wealth measures aimed specifically at descendants of American slavery. You know, it's the espresso shot, not the watered-down latte of broad coalition politics.
Wow.
And that's why people say the phrase, Black America, gets used like a blanket. FBA critics of the system argue that politicians can point to the success of Black immigrants or other diaspora success stories and call that progress, while multi-generational Black Americans, families rooted in slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, and sharecropping, are still stranded economically. That is the split. That is the wound.
To be fair, the data also show Black voters are not politically monolithic in their views, even while most still align with Democrats. Researchers at Brookings have pointed out that Black voters span conservative, moderate, liberal, and progressive positions. So this debate inside Black politics is real, layered, and yeah, intense.
But from the FBA perspective, the layering has become an excuse. That's the complaint. They look at the CBC and see leaders who got a seat at the table, but got too comfortable being quiet guests. They see a political coalition being protected more fiercely than the economic survival of the very people whose ancestors built the foundation.
And here's another key point. Even the Democratic Party's own platform language has talked broadly about racial equity and closing wealth gaps, but that is not the same thing as a lineage-specific reparations program with guaranteed material transfer. And for FBA voices, that difference is everything.
Everything. Because if you never name the debt precisely, you never have to pay it precisely. That's the whole game, right? Keep it broad, keep it emotional, keep it ceremonial, and never make the check out to the people actually owed. That is why the accusation of sellout hits so hard.
So, did the CBC sell out foundational Black Americans? Well, from the FBA point of view, the answer is yes. Not necessarily because every member is malicious, but because the institution, as they see it, chose coalition maintenance over lineage accountability.
And for others, The answer is more complicated. They'd say the CBC works inside the system, builds broader alliances, and tries to win what is politically possible. But that argument does not calm people who believe possible has been shrinking for 50 years, while the debt keeps growing.
That's the fire at the center of this whole conversation. Black Americans have enormous political value, especially in close elections, yet many still feel economically unrewarded, underprotected, and rhetorically used. So the demand now is not gratitude. It is receipts. It is ledger talk. It is show us what our votes bought.
And until that answer gets specific, this pressure is not going away. People are done clapping for representation that doesn't transfer wealth, power, or protection. They want policy with a family name on it. They want repair with historical precision.
Strong words and a necessary debate.
I am Chantel.
Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe for more real talk. Stay rooted, stay awake. I'm Dwayne, and we'll catch you next time.